This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Oakland Athletics.
And the pitch is swung on, hit the right field, hit deep. Whitefield going back at the track, over his head, and over the wall. Do you believe that?
And 29 other MLB clubs.
Ramirez with a drive to deep right, away back, goal!
Shohei gets a bomb out there by the Rocks. And boy, oh boy, this third inning is now showtime.
It is a Judgian blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to spin rates to game-changing moments. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us next from the town, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
You know, I'm just looking at the schedule. Is this weekend the Vegas weekend?
Yeah, it is.
Who are we playing in Vegas?
I'd have to pull it up and take a gander.
It's the MLB. They do it every year. Multiple teams do it throughout the year. We were there actually during the pandemic, if you remember. I just gotten off a long East Coast trip with the family. D.C., Philly, then New York, come back, spend 2 days washing clothes, and then we were off to Las Vegas, spent 2 days in Vegas, and then I traveled with the team to Arizona. It was literally like being on the road for almost 3 weeks. It was over 3 weeks. And what we didn't know was at the time, COVID was raging. So I was in the East Coast when it's raging, right? Then we come back, we go to Vegas, we're around all those people, and then Arizona, and neither one of us got it. It was crazy.
We're playing the Reds this weekend. The Cincinnati, who we played yesterday, at a 14-14 shootout. Looks like Bengals Raiders.
Well, hey, let me tell you something. If you can hold Joe Burrow and Cincinnati to 14 points, I think you realize that we're building something with our pitching staff and our defense if we can hold the mighty Bengals to just 2 touchdowns. That's a pretty good effort.
Late comeback, 2-minute warning left. The A's scored. I want to say we scored 4 runs in the ninth, or in the top of the ninth inning to tie the game.
And you know who I'm giving a good report to in this game, in the post-game report? Christian Pache. Hey, if you're going to get on here and rip Christian Pache on a daily basis, we're going to give him his credit. 2 hits yesterday. That's what we want to see. We want to see guys getting hits. Obviously, when you have 14 runs, a lot of guys get into the action. What do we have going today before the Athletics will be on here in a couple hours? Ryan Spilborghs, Spilly, who former player, broadcast for the Colorado Rockies, but he doesn't know this. We'll be talking about his other show on Sirius XM, Loud Outs, with our buddy C.J. Nikowski from the Texas Rangers, who you hear on this program, and also Brad Lidge. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Rogers, their second baseman, one of their best players, has hurt his shoulder. He now may be out for the year. What are you going to get out of Chris Bryant? And really, for me, which we've talked to Dan O'Dowd, the former GM, now with MLB Network, former GM of the Rockies that led them to the World Series against the Red Sox. Is that in 07? 06?
Oh, they played it was 07.
Was 07?
Because 06 was Red Sox, Cardinals. 07 would have been Philly. No, it would have been Rockies and
Philly was 08 and 09. I want to say 07. I'm going to stick with 07. Look it up. That was a long time ago. Hard to believe. Rockpile was Rocktober. Was it 07? Yeah. So Dan O'Dowd. So what's the blueprint to win in Colorado? And then also, he's really close to it, and we got to ask, Todd Helton, yes or no, is a Hall of Famer?
Yes, Todd Helton's a Hall of Famer.
I'm in, right? But not everybody is. Is it fair that we have put a team in Major League Baseball in Colorado, and then when it comes time to honor guys as the great players in the history of our game, what do? We say, well, they played in Colorado and we use it against them. Wait a minute. They're a Major League Baseball franchise. They're one of our 30, and you're going to penalize guys for where they play? I mean, if you're going to tell me if I'm a great player and I get drafted by the Rockies, we're encouraging players to spend their entire career in one spot, right? Don't we encourage that? Don't we say that's great that a guy's not just a mercenary going from team to team to team? We like when a guy stays, he's in the community, he's a big part of the heck, in a place like Denver, you're a big part of the state, not only the city. You know, isn't that what we encourage and what we want to see from our players? Instead of hopping around and just going from place to place to place, collecting checks, being mercenaries. And then now, after a guy puts up a great career, we're going to hold it against him? Because he was drafted by this team in the city. You put him there, and now you're going to penalize him? It's wrong. So we'll talk to Ryan Spilborghs coming up here at 10:30. Vice President of the Oakland Athletics, Steve Finelli, got a chance to talk to him about the excitement of the upcoming season and all the things that they've done to Ho-Ho-Camp Park down at spring training. Is still a lot of you will start making your way down there in March. We'll talk to him at 11 o'clock. And then Johnny Doskow will be here at 11:30. We might be having technical difficulties with Johnny. Is he struggling? Sloan Park, as I told you, is my favorite park down there. You haven't been there yet, have you?
I have not been to Sloan. No.
Sloan is awesome. The Cubs basically bullied Mesa into building them maybe bully is a little bit of a strong word, but they knew their power. So they used to be at Ho-Ho-Camp. First time I ever went to Ho-Ho-Camp was when the Cubs were playing there. And they were threatening to leave, saying, we're going to be out of here. And I don't know if anybody is a bigger power player in Arizona than the Chicago Cubs, because the Snowbirds, they're coming to Arizona. Chicago, weather this time of year. Have you been to Chicago at this time of year?
Only to the airport, but I know what the weather's like there.
Have I ever told you I almost froze to death in Chicago?
At Soldier Field?
No, not at Soldier Field. I was doing TV for the San Jose SaberCats, the New York Yankees of the Arena League. And we had a game in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So I had to fly into Chicago. And if you guys know anything about Chicago, you're going to have a flight at one spot of the airport. It's one of these like Atlanta and Dallas and Houston. These airports are so massive.
It was at O'Hare or Midway?
O'Hare.
Okay.
So then your gate is literally miles away, your connector flight. So I'm hustling through. Now, here in the Bay Area, it was great weather. So I'm in shorts and flip-flops. And I like to travel in flip-flops, so I really don't have to take off my shoes and do all that. Flip-flops, boop, put it in the bin, you're golden, right? So I did not take into effect. I'm carrying it. It's a one. I think I'm there for like a day. I don't have like bag. I have a suit. I'm traveling with a suit, and I got bags and I got overnight. When I say overnight, that's back in my having fun days. I got the overnight wear, and that's it, right? I'm leaving the next day, coming back home. So long story short, go all the way across the airport, find this little gate, and I'm on one of these little puddle jumper planes. You know, it seats like 12. So I get on the plane, I'm seat 1. So it's one seat right next to the door. So the door's open because passengers need to come in. Well, this is Chicago, and it's minus something. And I'm next to the door in shorts and flip-flops. And the flight attendant, she's like scrambling to find me blankets because literally I'm in a golf shirt, shorts, and flip-flops right next to the door. I'm right now. Like I can see outside. And it's minus something with a wind chill factor. And it was freezing. That's why I almost froze to death on a plane in Chicago.
I want to circle back to the overnight wear. I didn't realize Grand Rapids was a big party city.
If you ever want to know about a legendary night in Grand Rapids, Michigan, after the SaberCats got a victory, the great Mike Bird, who was a part of our broadcast with the Oakland Athletics, has worked with NBC Sports Bay Area in California for many years. If Dallaire, DA, our boss, is watching, very good friends with Dallaire. Birdie and I had a night that was unbelievable in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We still tell stories. Did you know that Grand Rapids, Michigan that's what I tell you. I've been everywhere, man. Every major city and even some smaller cities. Did you know Grand Rapids, Michigan is all about the late, great President Gerald Ford?
No, but is he from there?
Everything is Gerald Ford.
So he's from there?
Everything is Gerald Ford. The highway, the convention center, the school, Gerald Ford is Grand Rapids, Michigan. If you ever get to Grand Rapids, everything there is named after Gerald Ford. He is their favorite son. Of course, Gerald Ford was did you know he was a great football player? He's in the College Football Hall of Fame.
He played in Michigan, right?
Yeah, he's a Michigan Wolverine. Didn't go pro. Why? Because guys that were going to make a lot of money, I believe he went to law school, pro football was just considered, you didn't make a lot of money playing pro football. He went to law school instead of going to play pro football.
Looking at it right now, Gerald Ford, 30th President of the United States. Turned down offers from the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers to go to Yale's law school.
Yeah, because they made no money in it. This wasn't the NFL, bro. There wasn't flyovers before the game. You didn't have contracts. You didn't have, there was no sponsorship. Pro football was brutal. By the way, when was he I was a little kid.
It was in the 70s. He was the president from 74 to 77, and then the great peanut farmer Jimmy Carter took over before
Correct.
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, so I was a little kid. The only reason why I love me some Gerald Ford is my dad Gerald Ford used to play in the golf tournament in San Diego, which used to be known as the Andy Williams, is now called the Farmers. Gerald Ford would play in it, and my dad would have to do all the arrangements with the Secret Service. And I really didn't know this till after my dad died, and we were clearing out a bunch of my dad's stuff. Just talking about kind of how humble my dad was, a lot like myself.
Well, good host always brings it back to
you
their dad.
You think of humility, right? My dad had all these letters and certificates from the Secret Service who would write them to my dad and thank my dad for helping out, because obviously Gerald Ford's a president, and the presidents have Secret Service until they die. So Gerald Ford, the home of Grand Rapids, the king of Grand Rapids. I don't know why I got off on that.
All I know is I went back. He passed away in Rancho Mirage, California. That sounds somewhere down south.
The desert, baby.
All I know is it says on here, at the time of his death, he was the longest lived U.S. president at 93 years and 165 days. 45 days longer than, yes, former actor Ronald Reagan when he was the president.
Gerald Ford would show up to a golf tournament and hit somebody on almost every shot. Seriously, he was so bad. And they were like, but he's the president, right?
We'll make full circle at the president talk. Wasn't Ronald Reagan a broadcaster for the Cubs at one point?
He was an actor, a very successful actor. I don't know if he was a play-by-play guy. He did do some sports.
Ronald Reagan himself worked as a sports announcer at WH Radio in Des Moines, Iowa during the 1930s. He would call Cubs games, but rather than being at the game, he would recreate the action from nothing but a slip of paper by a telegraph operator who was transcribing plays sent by Morse code. There you go. We took it. We made it. In the A's, who are they playing today? The Cubs. Full circle.
Yeah, when you go to the American Smithsonian in D.C., that's all about American history, and you learn about some of these presidents, like what they did before they became president. Some guys, they don't have a big resume. They're politicians, and they're going to be lifelong politicians. There's a lot of other guys who have Jimmy Carter, you mentioned, and God bless Jimmy Carter, who's in hospice right now. But you think of the peanut farmer and everything Jimmy Carter has done for people before and after as a president. Some of these guys, Ronald Reagan was a famous actor. Some of these guys have amazing resumes before they become president. Interesting. And someday we will have a female president, and it'll be the same there. Yesterday, some news and notes. Yes, I'm kind of Kind of sad that you've printed out news and notes and you did not mention that Pache had 2 hits. I believe that is an error by you.
I have it as a triple. I forgot to update after he had the second hit.
You have to give some love to Pache because that's what we're saying. Every single time he plays, is he hitting? That's the big question. That is the big question. Sodi, 3 for 4 with a dinger. Lawrence Butler continues to stay hot. That is good. But the breakdown, how long was a game that had 8,000 pitchers and it was a 14-14? Back in the day, i.e. last year, a 14-14 spring training game would have been 4.5 hours.
So, all right, let me break it down. 9 pitchers by the A's, 9 by the Reds.
Oh, my God.
28 total runs scored, 14 apiece. A's had 17 hits. Reds had 12. It was a knock-em-out throwdown in Goodyear, Arizona, Bengals, Raiders. 3 hours and 16 minutes.
That's incredible. That's it?
Yeah.
14 runs by each team. How many pitchers?
18 total, 9 by each team.
And it was only 3 hours and 16 minutes?
Yeah, that is correct.
Oh, I'm telling you, it is so amazing to watch all of the get off my lawn guys right now that this pitch timer is really showing you how it speeds up the game, that you literally look ridiculous if you criticize it. Maverick Phillips, our buddy, who is now with the Angels, can't wait to have him more often. Remember, we'd have him on every single time the Rays would come to town once a year. And he would come on, and, I mean, he's just electric. Well, he put out on Twitter the other day about how he got sent down last year from Tampa and loved the new rules. And I can't remember who the blue check mark. I think you're totally wrong with all due respect. Baseball shouldn't have a timer. Why? Because it's a thinking man's game. That's right. Baseball is a thinking man's game. That's why when we see also on Twitter recently, the Padres and somebody else, Padres Dodgers, they did a side-by-side of a playoff game where, was it Baez? Who was on the mound?
Oh, Pedro Baez.
Pedro Baez was on the mound. It took him minutes to throw one pitch. One. And they showed this half inning of Dodgers Padres, the entire inning, and guys actually got on base. They finished an entire half inning before Baez threw just one pitch in a playoff game. It took minutes to throw one pitch.
There was a good one, too.
What the hell are you talking about, a thinking thing? What? You try to tell me? Okay, any of you jackasses out there who think you really know sports, but you just cover baseball, you have no idea how hard it is to play in the NFL. You've got no idea. You have no idea the responsibility of an NFL quarterback when he goes to the line of scrimmage and everything he's got to know. You guys in baseball, and I don't know why I'm talking, they're not listening anyway. I'm doing this for effect. But you guys in baseball are so ignorant. You're ignorant. If you think Pedro Baez taking minutes to throw one pitch has a ton of things on his mind, you're out of your mind. Do you know how much information an NFL quarterback has to go through his head? All the players, everybody's got to be lined up. He's got to look at the defense. What is the defense is doing? I've got 2 or 3 different plays that I've called in the huddle. And based on the defense, I've got to read this all as the time's going. I've got to read this, and I'm going to have to check to one of these plays. Is it the run play to the right? Is it the run play to the left? Or is it the passing play? And I have to make that decision based on the defense. But by the way, they're disguising actually what they're going to do. And you're going to tell me baseball is a thinking man's game? I get in the box and I just hit it. Let me tell you something. A lot of these guys in Major League Baseball have not even studied the rules coming into spring training, and you say it's a thinking man's game. Why are the people who cover our game such idiots? They're idiots. Literally, they're educated people. I mean, you don't get a degree in baseball. A lot of these writers get a degree in English or who knows, communications, journalism, whatever the hell they get their degree in. But it isn't in street smarts, and it isn't in business. Maybe we should have new requirements for people to cover this game, saying that baseball shouldn't have a timer because it's a thinking man's game. My ass.
There was another good one too. I remember the one that you're talking about, the Dodgers and Padres. There was one Ben Verlander shared on Twitter of the same thing with Pedro Baez, and it showed how many times Jose Altuve could run around the bases for an inside the park home run, and the time it took him to throw that one pitch. It's incredible.
Duvall, the Giants closer, Kinsley
Jansen
is the slowest guy. Who told us this? Oh, it's our buddy Mike Farron. Kenley figured out that he's the slowest guy in baseball by watching MLB Network. He didn't even know. So this offseason, when they're putting in the pitch timer, let's just talk about what a thinking man's game baseball is. Kenley Jansen is so slow. I don't know is he the actual slowest guy?
From last year, he's actually the third slowest. It's Loaizaga, Gallegos from the Cardinals, and then Jansen.
So Jansen, he's got to watch MLB Network. No, Red Sox didn't call him. Braves didn't call him the year before to say, hey, by the way, you need to speed it up.
He's actually is the slowest with runners on. Third slowest, nobody on. Third slowest with runners on. Yes, slowest guy.
No one called him to say, hey, this thing's going to affect you probably more than anybody. No one even called him. He had to find out by just in the clubhouse watching TV. He's sitting there in the clubhouse. Oh, wow, I'm the slowest guy in baseball. That's the thinking man's game we're talking about? You really think these guys are the most brilliant thinkers in the world? Oh, my God. It's unbelievable. It literally is unbelievable.
I was trying to see where you mentioned Duvall. I was trying to see where he was. I'm not seeing him, but oh, boy. Ace starter J.P. Sears on the mound today was 21st in baseball, 21st slowest guy in about 27 seconds between pitches with runners on base. He's got to work on that. But I'm trying to see Duvall. I know he's slow, but
I don't see. J.P. Sears is super slow.
That's what Baseball Savant's telling us.
I need to get into, and I mentioned it yesterday. I don't know if we're going to have time here, but maybe after Spilly, I've got an idea. If Scott Emerson's going to call me and says, Townie, what should the strategy be this year for our pitchers? I think I got a pretty good strategy to help out A's pitchers to control the running game. The running game is going to be on. It's going to be on like Donkey Kong. And I think it's really important that the A's pitchers, when they say, put it on the tape, that's more an NFL reference. But you're going to need to, with all the advanced scouts. So the advanced scouts are going to be looking at the A's, and they're going to be looking at every team, and they're going to say, all right, who's throwing over? Who's bothered by this? Whose cage is rattled by this? And the A's pitchers got to do a really good job of not being rattled. They've got to be by the time that first week, they've got to show the advanced scouts, and they got to put it on the video that they're willing to throw over at any point. And I will get to that in a little bit. I think that is going to be really, really important. Because as much as I want the A's to now be a track meet and put the pressure on other people's staffs, you're going to need to control the running game. And you know what we might really find out this year too? Because it's really hard to know who really is a good throwing catcher because most people don't run. In Johnny Bench's day, they ran all the time. So you had a big sample size of Johnny Bench throwing down to second base. In modern day baseball, Real Muto. Well, really, how many guys even steal in baseball? How would you know? We used to say, Big Murph. How many guys were stealing? Now we have a good chance that if you got guys, if everybody goes up a little bit, right? If I'm stealing 10 bags a year, I'm now stealing 15. If I'm stealing 18, I'm now stealing 24. If I'm stealing, if my God, a guy steal 30, I mean, we might have a guy steal 40, 50, 60, go crazy, 70 or 80 bags. Now catchers are going to have to throw on a consistent basis, not just every once in a while try and throw a guy out and you go, oh my God, look at the release, look at the arm. You're probably going to get tested on a nightly basis. Catchers have not been tested on a nightly basis in a long time. I have no data in front of me to tell you when that was, what year it was, when attempts were at a really big high, but it's been a long time since catchers came to the yard every night going, I got to control the run game. That pitchers, this era, huff and puff and blow your house down pitching, these guys haven't been focused on runners. They hardly throw over. I mean, how many times do you see a right-handed pitcher just do the turn and lob it over, turn and lob it over? I mean, it's not the turn, boom, and trying to put it right on the glove and get a guy. So this will, and I know this is not something a lot of people have talked about. This will be a year we're going to figure out what catchers really can throw night in, night out on a consistent basis, because you could make the case a throwing catcher, nice to have, but not a must. You'd rather have a bat than a guy that can't throw because no one was stealing. What was the real benefit?
Yeah, I mean, the argument people use when there was not a lot of running was, well, he's a good pitch framer. And that's okay, great. So he still strikes, but now we're going to see guys that are going to be stealing bags more at a higher, hopefully at a higher rate. Although we talked about yesterday, Max Scherzer doesn't think so it's not going to happen.
I talked to Max Scherzer and Tim Kirchen, and the future Hall of Famer said, okay.
The A's have
well, you know what? Let's just throw out the rules because Max Scherzer has an opinion. We should all change.
Yeah, the A's have 9 steals in 5 games so far.
Right now, CBS just put out an article, MLB rule changes, what to know about the new pitch clocks, how it's working, and how we could be affected.
Oh, I got numbers on it. We can go over after Spilly from ESPN.
Coming up next, we're going to do our first training camp. We'll do like the NFL. It's training camp preview time. We're going to our first camp. The Colorado Rockies, Rocktober, the Rock Pile. We're going to break down Colorado next right here on A's Cast Live.
Unbeatable mileage from Chevron with Techron unlocks all kinds of unbeatable trips. Like to family dinner the next town over. Or to a family wedding the next town over. Or even to a family reunion over the river and through the woods at Grandma's house. Any drive is worth it to see Grandma. Especially when you can stop along the way for unbeatable cleaning power from Chevron with Techron. Your engine will be thanking you for making the trip. Download the Chevron app now and find unbeatable mileage near you.
Humanity has accomplished a whole lot so far. We created penicillin, the automobile, and the internet, not to mention drones, duct tape, and the hot dog. It's all thanks to the power of human connections. And RingCentral's here to make that even easier, more seamlessly and securely, on a platform built to grow your business. Say hello to a whole new way to say hello. Visit ringcentral.com and say hello to possibilities. RingCentral. Message, video, phone, together.
It's that time of the year. Single game tickets are now on sale for the 2023 season. Don't miss out on securing your tickets for some of the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. Visit athletics.com/tickets to get yours now. That's athletics.com/tickets.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop of Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
Innovation is at the core of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students preserve genetic information from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and the entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
All righty, it's time to break down the Colorado Rockies with Ryan Spilborghs, the pride of Santa Barbara, and he joins us here once again on A's Cast Live. It's great to have you. And, you know, before we start talking about the Colorado Rockies, we always bring up what great job you guys are doing on Sirius XM. We have a lot of your guys on. We were just with Jim Duquette down in Arizona. I had to take Farron to dinner while we were down there.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. That is not very much fun when you have to take Mike Farron to dinner.
And I got to pay. You know, it's not cheap when you take that guy out to dinner. But the show you do, Loud Outs, it's usually the show I'm listening to on the way to the ballpark. Obviously, CJ Nikowski's a friend of our program with the Rangers. He's in town multiple times a year. Brad Lidge. I love your guys' show. It's the show that's hosted by former players. And as we always get perspective by guys who weren't players, or even I love Power Alley. I mean, in fact, you got a former GM, but you guys doing it as players. Just talk about how special your guys' show is, and it's a very unique view of our game.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, we, you know, when it was brought to our attention, I really wanted to continue to get better at broadcasting. I wanted to work on the craft. And so about 7 years ago, as I was getting into my career at MLB Network Radio, I asked our program director, Jordan Greenberg, if there was a possibility that we could do a players hosted show. I wanted to see if I could host a show. And he loved it. He was like, we haven't had that since Kevin Kennedy and Rob Dibble. And I was like, oh, cool. Wow. I was like, let's do it. Let's do it. So I didn't know who my co-host was going to be. And I ended up, you're going to get paired with CJ Nikowski. You're going to start on Saturday mornings at 8:00. I was like, perfect. That way we could cut our teeth. And it was kind of like a nice little experimental ground for us to work on our craft. And CJ and I worked for about 4 years. And this was before people were using Zoom as we're doing right now. We would connect on a device, which is called an access unit. And so I could be in Denver, he could be in Atlanta, and then we just hear our voices. And so we never met each other for years. For 4 years, we're working every Saturday, and we never met each other. And we had, we knew about each other's families and our wives and our kids. And we were becoming really good buddies, but just through work, just through this call-in show. And it developed into a really nice friendship. We finally met back in 2019. I joked that's probably the most nervous I've ever been to meet somebody. I'm not starstruck at all, but to meet the person, it was almost like a long lost pen pal or a long distance relationship with somebody that you've never met. And I didn't know how tall CJ was. I didn't know what color his eyes were going to be. I didn't know any of these things. So it was great. And it's turned into a really fun show. And I also think from our perspective, and you get this, Chris, broadcasting and the craft of it's not like baseball. It takes a really, 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 really long time to get good at it. And it's not something that's natural for most people. It's not something that's natural even for broadcasters. It just takes time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, we always joke with CJ, and we love having him on the show. It's, he's played for almost every team, including Korea. So there's like nothing you can't ask him. But your guys' show, it's second to none. Keep doing a great job. Before we get into, I know Brendan Rodgers has gotten hurt, and that's not good. And talking about Chris Bryant and the Rockies, there's two things that I want to address with you that I think people don't understand. Number one, how tough it is to play in elevation. I know a little bit about this. I used to work for the Oakland Raiders. We came there every single year to play the Denver Broncos. And talking to Broncos people, just playing in elevation, everybody just thinks, oh, you get up to the plate, everybody's hitting jacks, you're putting up big numbers. People don't understand health-wise playing in elevation, then going to sea level, doing that throughout a year is so hard on people's bodies. Educate people that playing in Denver isn't as easy as people think it is.
No, it's not. You come to Denver, you have an IPA, you're hammered. You walk up the stairs, you're winded. And I'll take it away from baseball because I think most people will understand this. NHL, the Avs, they have a better win-loss record at home in the last 10 years than virtually any other hockey team. I wonder why. Same with the Nuggets. And when you come and watch an NBA game, a team like, let's say the Lakers, a big Lakers fan, this happens all the time. You'll hear LeBron James, Anthony Davis, these players will not play in Denver. Why? Why would the NBA not play games in Denver? Because it's been proven that the players that come here, it impacts their body so much, not just for that one game. They get ran out of the gym almost every time, but it impacts them for the days after. So if NBA teams are doing this, if NHL teams are noticing a difference, if the NFL sees the same thing, people get ran out of the stadium in Denver. Do you also wonder why the U.S. Olympic training facilities in Colorado Springs, like anybody ever wonder why that's there? Yeah. It's because the elevation. Training at elevation makes it easier for when you go to anywhere else besides here. So you have every single sport is telling you playing at elevation has an impact on your body. And so why would it be any different for a baseball game? And imagine extrapolating a 10-game homestand for a baseball team. The first couple days, it takes a little bit of time to get adjusted. Then you're adjusted. You have other teams coming in. Then you go back on the road. It turns into something that very few teams in Major League Baseball have. I will point this out for you, Chris, and you'll appreciate it. There's 3 teams in Major League Baseball that have truly like an outside variable. It used to be the Texas Rangers with heat.
Oh,
heat in the summer with Texas, they would fall like flies. They literally would. You could look up their injury list history from summer months, and they would lead Major League Baseball. Seattle with their travel. They have more travel than any team in Major League Baseball, Seattle. And then Colorado with the altitude. So now you're down to 2 teams in Seattle and Colorado that have 2 variables nobody else deals with.
It's fact. And you look at boxers, whether it was Mike Tyson, Oscar De La Hoya would always go up to Big Bear to train before their big matches. I mean, there's a reason why. But, yeah, the health process, it is brutal. Then the other one I wanted to bring up is there's 30 teams in Major League Baseball. Baseball put a team in Denver. We want players to play and spend their entire career with a place. I believe Todd Helton should be a Baseball Hall of Famer. I always loved my time with him. He's a great guy. I mean, we talked Peyton Manning in the University of Tennessee with him. He's great to have on the show, but what a great player, defender, offensive player. And Larry Walker was the same thing. Like, people want to start penalizing guys for playing in Denver. And it's like, wait a minute, if we're going to put a franchise there and we want players to spend their entire career there and be a part of the community, that's what we encourage. We don't want guys going to all these different organizations and being mercenaries. You then can't turn around at the end of their career and then bang them for it and say, yeah, we're not going to vote for him. I just think that's wrong. I know how much help means to you. I just think it's wrong that we look at a guy like Todd Helton who did everything right, and we're now going to penalize him for playing at Coors Field.
Well, and that's more of a media bias than actual, players that have played against Todd don't look at him as not a Hall of Famer. It's media bias. It's East Coast bias. We're in a different time zone. People will point at, the home road splits. And then I say, okay, all right, you wanted to play that game. You're going to say that this guy benefited from home road splits. Okay, then let's look at the road splits. Let's truly look at them. And his road splits are better than many Hall of Famers. his OPS numbers on the road are better than many Hall of Famers, better than Ryan Sandberg. You can go better than Tony Gwynn. I mean, like you could start throwing names out there and people are like, whoa. You can't do that. You can't say he's better than Tony Gwynn. I was like, really? Then look up the numbers and then compare them. I get it. Todd didn't have 3,000 hits, and I'm never saying that Tony Gwynn isn't one of the best hitters I've ever seen, because he was. But when you start really digging into those numbers, that East Coast bias, the Mountain Time Zone bias, the Coors Field bias, it really should be gone. We have enough neutralized stats that show the true story and the true value of Todd Helton. So I think he's a Hall of Famer. And, anybody that wants to make an argument against him, you better come with your facts. You better come with facts, because I will come back with some too.
I look at the start of the season. The big news was LA losing Gavin Lux, but in division, Brendan Rodgers going down with the dislocated shoulder, could need surgery. Where are we with that? That's huge news out of your camp.
Yeah, it's too early to tell. I mean, I think the Rockies are not optimistic. They're very. I think it looks bleak at this moment, but it's also early. Usually when you have some sort of shoulder displacement, you do have shoulder inflammation. You just kind of have to wait before, jumping to a conclusion that he's going to have surgery. We do know that Lucas Gilbreth, another reliever for the Rockies, is going to have Tommy John. So that's not good news. That happened today. So yeah, the Rockies are in a bad spot, especially if they lose Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers was part of a trade discussion this offseason. I thought maybe he might be a trade candidate at some point, and if they don't have that asset, it's clear that they're not going to move him as well. So it's a devastating blow for the Rockies, because they can't afford to lose any of their everyday position players, especially when they have some sort of trade value as well.
You look at Bryant. We got to know him a little bit when he came out here, played for the Giants. Everybody loved him, obviously, in Chicago. He signs that big deal and then can't stay healthy. And that's got to be brutal. Like, you sign this mega deal, you finally sign it, you make a commitment to a franchise, you want to be the franchise guy. Obviously, the ghost of Arenado is still there, and you only play in 45 games. Just how tough was this year for him, and how big is year 2 for him there in Denver?
Well, it's funny. I mean, if you ask him, he said it was his best baseball year he's had as far as like no pressure, mental state, family, new family members. His wife gave birth to a set of twins. So from like his personal lifestyle standpoint and life, he said that was the most enjoyable year he's ever had. From the Rockies' perspective, that can't happen. You need to have Chris Bryant. And so, yeah, I mean, it's the first year of a long-term contract. I think the Rockies are trying to forget. Rockies fans are trying to forget what happened with Nolan, but it's unforgettable. Nolan will be a future Hall of Famer. And so, like, there's no replacing him no matter what. And we've said this, like, the Arenado trade is always going to be a black eye on the Rockies. There's no way to, no matter what. I mean, it is what it is. You got a future Hall of Famer that you traded away. And so, like, that's just going to be the fan sentiment. And I agree with it. I mean, I feel the same way. So when it comes to Chris Bryant, I don't think he has to fill in anybody's shoes. I just think he has to play. And so far he's off to a really nice camp, and it would just be nice to keep him on the field for as long as possible.
We've had Dan O'Dowd on this program now with MLB Network, former GM of the Rockies, got the Rockies to the World Series. And we had a little conversation about this, and I'm really interested how you feel about this. If you had a blueprint, because the field there in Denver, I've been on it. It's amazing how big it is. The kind of speed that you need. We've already talked about the wear and tear of elevation, but if you could build a blueprint, pitching wise, position player wise, what would that be to make the Rockies a winner and have a sustainable winner?
I mean, it's not going to be the same thing every single year. I mean, sometimes you'll have good pitching. You're going to be short on offense. Other years you're going to have good offense and short on pitching. So I think with Colorado, you have to be more nimble than most. They are a top 15 in salary by a franchise, which might surprise people. They actually spend more money this year than the St. Louis Cardinals. So I do think when it comes to outfield play, I'm a huge advocate for outfield play, especially at Coors Field. Majority of baseballs, you think like you hit a ball in the air, it's a homer. It's not true. There's more balls hit in front of outfielders than there are over the heads of outfielders. So I am a advocate, if I was to use, let's say, like Oakland's model or Tampa Bay's model, just in a different way, Tampa uses relievers, young controllable relievers, and runs them over and over and over again through their bullpen. I would probably do the same thing with center field. I would probably look at center field as a youthful spot where I want my center fielder fast. I don't care about the offensive numbers, and I just have somebody go get it. And we know that over time at Coors Field, as we've already talked about, the wear and tear on the body. If you have young center fielders, 23, 24, 25, 26, then they get into that arbitration eligible and even the free agency, you can let them go. And just recirculate. And so there's one way that you can have a little bit better defensive efficiency in the outfield. And then as far as position players, I think you have to be willing to trade position players. I don't think the Rockies have in years past. And you do have to go out and acquire pitchers, because most pitchers, they're not going to sign as a free agent. So you have to trade for them.
Yeah, that's so true. Get a free the days of Daryl Kyle and Mike Hampton. I mean, it's tough to get guys to go there. Let's end on this. For us, we're in retool mode. Obviously, we go on our runs. We had 18, 19, 20. We had 12, 13, 14. And then after that, we start a retool. But we got some young guys who a lot of people don't know about, but they are exciting. We got some athletes. We got the new rules. I think, the A's, we've always relied on home runs and walks. I think we're going to be stealing a lot of bags this year. For the Rockies, what makes you excited for this camp? What are some names? What are some guys where you go, hey, when you guys are watching on TV, this is what we should be looking for?
I mean, there's some really nice. First off, they've had really nice veteran pitchers for a while. Kyle Freeland's pitched really well. Herman Marcus has pitched really well there. Those are really fun arms. Daniel Bard last season got an MVP vote. And if you're like, what? How did a closer get an MVP vote? Yeah, because there was 3 pitchers in all Major League Baseball that had over 30 saves, had the over 70 innings pitched, and like a certain strikeout rate. It was like Edwin Diaz, the kid from Cleveland, the Guardians, and Daniel Bard. So there is some really good pitching with the Rockies. Young pitching. Ryan Feltner is pretty exciting. We also have this kid that's going to play shortstop this year named Ezekiel Tovar. That lit the Double-A on fire last year, and then a really kind of hair on fire type player, Zach Veen, who I believe is leading spring training in stolen bases. So there are some good athletes, there are some good pitching, but this division is really difficult. I think if there's going to be anything that benefits the Rockies and Oakland this year, it's going to be the new schedule. So not having to take on the Astros 19 times or the Mariners 19 times. I think he's going to benefit, just like the Rockies are going to benefit not facing the Dodgers and the Giants 19 times over the course of a year.
Yeah, I mean, I look back at Torey Lovullo, we love down in Arizona. He's a former A. You take their record against the Dodgers out, they're over 500.
Yeah.
They had a pretty good year. Mm-hmm. But all of a sudden you throw that record against the Dodgers in, they're under 500, and you're like, I mean, it's just certain teams. Same thing with the Mariners last year, got hammered by the Astros. They got in the playoffs, but, playing the team that hammers you the most less does not hurt.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad to see that change. I think that's something a lot of A's fans, Rockies fans are going to enjoy, is seeing other teams that aren't the Dodgers, Giants, Astros, Mariners.
Well, we truly appreciate the time. We always like having you on the program. Just want to let you know we're always out there promoting Sirius XM, the channel. It's second to none when you're driving in your car, and I promote it. Hey, it's like The Athletic. You want great journalism, you got to subscribe to it. You want a great product, and you want to listen to baseball, Channel 89. Also for football, I love Channel 88. I mean, it's worth subscribing to terrestrial radio. It's got its issues, but we're always listening to you. I'm listening to you on the way to the ballpark. Your show is fantastic, and let's do this again soon.
Okay, anytime, Tony. I appreciate it.
Ryan Spilborghs, Spilly, join us right here on A's Cast Live, breaking down the Colorado Rockies. And, Bard's actually a great story. Class A is the guy he's thinking of, right? In Cleveland.
Yeah, Class A. Bard was out of the league for 5 years.
Yeah, it was like a crazy. All of a sudden he came back, and next thing you know, he was throwing super hard. And, I mean,
he's older, too. I think he's 35 or 36 now. Let's see. Daniel Bard is 37, going to be 38 in June. So, and Spilly mentioned his record or his numbers last year. 6th and 4th, a 1.78 ERA in 57 games, 34 saves, 69 Ks, and 16 1/3 innings pitched. For a Rockies team that went 68-94 last year, he was a bright spot. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers led the team in WAR last year. The shoulder injury is a bummer for them. They still have some nice young players on the team, like your guy, Zach Veen. We don't have to get into that, but you know Zach Veen. Ryan, he's going to be up eventually. Ryan McMahon's their second best position player.
You're throwing me under the bus, and they don't even know why you're throwing me under the bus.
Well, I figured you tell the story. I mean, it was years ago.
Okay. It's years ago where you got me to go to a San Jose Giants game that didn't have the ports.
They're playing the Fresno Grizzlies.
And the Grizzlies now, which is hard to believe, Fresno's a AAA city with a AAA ballpark now as an A-ball team. And the Rockies, he's the number one pick, right?
Yes.
He was the bonus baby, playing third. Wasn't he playing third? Or he's an outfielder?
He's an outfielder, yeah.
I rode this kid. When he came up, because no one knows who the heck he is, right? And we knew who he was. And wasn't this his first game ever?
If not, it was one of them, yes.
So as a proud grown man, I heckled him going, he's got to learn the ropes. This minor league baseball. He was the beer batter.
Oh, that's right. He was.
He was the beer batter. So if he struck out, beers were half off. So I'm in his ear. And he hears me. And by the way, other Rocky prospects were turning and looking at me and laughing because I was right. Let's just say all the years of being in a college bullpen, I learned how to rag pretty good. And I was on this kid. And he heard me. And he was overmatched. How's he doing? How is my guy doing? I feel like I helped train him. How Tiger Woods' dad would shake coins and drop stuff as Tiger was in his backswing. I did that for this kid.
Well, as Philly mentioned, he leads spring training in stolen bases.
Okay, stop telling me about 5 games in.
Hey, that's let me
overreaction Monday.
Let me see if I can pull up his minor league stats from the past couple of years. He last year in high A and double A. Was he only playing in high A last year? Yeah, both. Between both, he hit 245, 12 home runs, 67 runs driven in.
All I remember didn't he get like 10 million?
He did steal 55 bases though.
Didn't he get like 10 million?
I think it was like 5.
Whatever he got, I remember just going, "This is all we're getting for 5 million."
I think what we need to do, a full circle moment. I don't know if we go to Colorado or if they come here, but when Veen gets called up and we play the Rockies here, we have to have him on and be like, "Hey,
do you remember?
I was the guy heckling you in San Jose in one of your first games.
I was the loser in the stands."
What if he's like, what if he goes, "Actually, yeah, I do. You were the only guy that got on me the entire year and it motivated me to be better."
Then you know what? I'm like Tony Robbins. Expectations for 2023. If the off-season moves or lack thereof are any indication this is not a team serious about contending next summer. Fangraphs currently has the Rockies projected for the fewest wins in the majors next season. Wow. So the Rockies, it's tough sledding, right? I mean, what was Pagoda having?
Pagoda has an actually 64.4, so actually less wins than they projected for. They have us at 65. They have the Rockies at 64.
I don't think the division is that as tough as everybody's trying to make it out, too.
The NL West?
Yeah.
Well, there's some injuries.
Dodgers are going to be down. Dodgers are not the same team.
Well, now
Dodgers are not. I'm going to go out on a limb. Can I go out on a limb?
Sure.
We need to get you the sailor's hat for Captain Obvious. You're a great Captain Obvious. I want to take the sailor's hat, the Captain Obvious.
I have one.
The Old Spice Captain Obvious. I say the Dodgers aren't going to win 111 this year.
Bro, really going on a limb on that
I'm going out on a limb. I'm going out. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out on that limb. And I'm going to say they don't win 111.
All right, that's fair.
So immediately, San Diego, San Francisco, Arizona, Colorado, the records get better because they all got hammered by the Dodgers. Even San Diego got hammered. San Diego didn't get theirs until the playoffs. So I'm saying everybody gets better immediately because the Dodgers aren't winning 111 games.
Do they win 100?
No.
Wow, that's a bold prediction.
I don't think it is. Really?
They're still pretty good.
Yeah, but 100 games is a lot.
Yeah.
That is a lot of wins.
What was it you said? For the last 5 years, they've won on average 104 games?
They've won 104, at least 104 games 4 out of the last 5 years. That is a tremendous amount of wins. I'm saying, could the Dodgers still win in the 90s? Yes. But you already know, like, spring training, okay, Walker Buehler's not there, right?
No.
Trey Turner's not there.
Nope. Belly.
Justin Turner's not there.
Yep.
Belly stinks. But, yeah, okay, Belly's not there. You already know
Tyler Anderson's gone.
Clayton Kershaw is not playing for the American team because he couldn't get insurance. And the insurance that they wanted to get for him was so expensive for him just to pitch 2 or 3 times that he didn't want to pay for it, and neither did baseball. What does that tell you about Clayton Kershaw's health if he can't even get insurance to play in the World Baseball Classic?
Yeah, that's never a good sign. Their rotation.
I'm not a doctor, nor am I an insurance company, but I'm just saying, if you're so bad that they said, hey, for you to play, for us to guarantee your contract during the season, you're such a question mark health-wise, it's going to cost millions to insure you for the World Baseball Classic.
Even their starting rotation behind that, besides Julio Urias, who's been very good the last few years. Gonsolin, what's he going to be like this year after winning all those games?
Wasn't healthy last year.
Noah Syndergaard.
After the All-Star game, right? Did he start the All-Star game?
I think the game was at Dodger Stadium, so it would have made sense if he did. Syndergaard.
Noah Syndergaard?
What are you going to get? And Dustin May's coming off Tommy John.
By the way, you know what I read? You want to know what I read? Noah Syndergaard is really happy in L.A. And because he's happy in L.A., he's a couple ticks up on his fastball.
Oh, God.
Oh, my. You buying that?
Oh, boy.
That is spring training garbage. Trust me, if anybody has shoveled spring training garbage before, it's this guy. And I know what spring training garbage looks like. And Noah Syndergaard is spring training. The stories on Cindy, I don't think that's his nickname.
No.
But Noah Syndergaard,
Thor.
I'm making my own name.
Oh.
I'm not buying it.
Gardy?
I'm not buying it. So you're telling me you already know Kershaw won't be healthy through the whole season. It's just not going to happen. I mean, he's great. He's a future Hall. We can actually say he's a future Hall. I hate the future Hall of Fame thing. You know that on this show because we throw it around way too much. Noah Syndergaard is a future. I mean, not.
Whoa, I was going to say, whoa.
Clayton Kershaw is a future Hall of Fame.
Oh, we're all really going on a limb on that one, too.
But I'm telling you right now, he's not going to be healthy this year 100%. There's no way the Dodgers win 100 games this year. So immediately, Rockies, D-backs, Padres, Giants, everybody's record will be a little bit better.
All right, let me give it to you real quick. Here's what their record was in division against each team. Arizona, 14-5.
Oh.
Colorado, respectively, 11-8. The Rock Pile played them well. San Francisco Giants, who we're going to preview tomorrow with the great Marty Laurie, 15-4 against the Giants.
Ooh.
Padres, 14-5.
Do you see what I'm saying? When you win 111 games, you punish people in your division.
The Dodgers,
read that again. Giants lost 15 games against the Dodgers.
Padres lost
14. The Padres slayed the Dragon. They beat them in a playoff series.
Yeah.
The Padres haven't slayed any Dragon yet.
Rockies lost 11, and the Diamondbacks lost 14.
I mean, look how different look how different Torey Lovullo and the D-backs would look if they had a better record just against the Dodgers.
I think Arizona's going to take
it. And by the way, I would be so interested in that. Even though the Rockies, it was 11-8, I'd be very interested what that record is, Chavez Ravine versus Coors Field. Is that the Coors Field effect?
Maybe. I'd have to look at the one that how many.
I would bet, because that's the one thing the Rockies can do. If you're a gambler, remember, Rockies win at home. Give me the Rockies' home record last year.
Hold on.
Traditionally, the Rockies do well at home, according to my gambling friends. Because for some reason, baseball is now into gambling, but people who work for a baseball team.
Rockies, surprisingly, 41-40 at home.
But for a team that was that bad, they're almost 500.
Yeah, Dodgers were 57-24 at home.
See, this is where he's skewing it. You're not telling the story. They were 68-94. That's a horrific season.
Yeah.
What were they on the road?
27-54.
They're 27. What are they at home?
41-40.
Clearly, the numbers will tell you they were a far more competitive
Team at home.
They were almost 500 at home, awful on the road.
Dodgers had a losing record versus only 2 teams last year. Can you guess them? One's an AL team, one's an NL team.
Well, some teams are only playing one series. You counting one
well, okay.
series?
Okay, so if you played multiple series, there's only one team they had a losing record to.
I'll go Brewers.
Close, same division.
Cardinals.
Nope.
Pirates.
That's right. Pirates owned the Dodgers last year.
I should have known it would be a Pirate.
5-1.
Oh, you give me tons of. If you watch the show, you'll notice that he gives me the most random ass questions like, last year in August, who hit the most doubles with 2-out counts? Former Pirate, who now plays it like, I mean, it's like, hell, I don't know. You give me I'm going to give you, I don't know if it's that random, but I found this last night. Oh, we got to talk about Senga. Great article in the USA Today about Senga, the Japanese pitcher for the Mets. Do you know what the nickname is for his splitter?
No.
It's fabulous. The ghost forkball. You can't beat it. I wish I had a ghost forkball. You know why it's a ghost forkball?
Because it disappears.
Because in Japan you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Random note that I highlighted. Yes, this is what you all watch Netflix, Hulu. You're on your
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
Just finished Succession.
You're watching The Mandalorian on Disney Plus. I'm highlighting and reading baseball stuff. That's what I do.
Get the Mandalorian bobblehead of Mark Kotsay May 4th.
Yeah, I'm highlighting. I'm going through. I got all this stuff. This is what I do for fun. As you guys are sitting there watching, I don't know what the hell you're watching.
I just finished Succession Season 3. Very good show.
Yeah, people ask me, hey, what show are you watching? I'm watching MLB Network getting ready for the show.
I would. I don't have it, though.
I'm reading. I'm cruising websites. Not the kind of websites you look like. The kind of websites that I'm looking at baseball stuff.
All right, what's your random stat before we get to
random stat?
Before we get to A's VP of Sales and Business Operations, Steve Finelli.
Who am I? I, as a team, so you got 30 chances.
Okay.
I, as a team, led the second half in stolen bases and had a success rate of 80.9.
Miami Marlins.
Think about this, folks. 80%. Anywhere in business, anywhere in life, if you're at 80%, you're killing it.
I'd say that's go on a limb here. It's pretty good.
I mean, you talk about Mandalorian. Let's ask Disney. Hey, Disney, if you're up 80%, are you happy?
I'm sure they are.
Yeah. If you're up 80% in attendance at your parks around the world, are you happy? If you're hey, in Disney princess dresses, I don't have to buy them anymore. If you're up 80%, if you're up in Mickey ears, is that good?
Yes. Okay, so I feel like this is random. So I threw out the Marlins. I don't think the Kansas City Royals.
You are strike 2. Who? It's actually 80.9. Who led the league in stolen? This is why this is the team, everybody. Once again, if you want to look at futures, over and unders for teams, which is a great bet. Once again, we're baseball employees. We can't bet. It's ridiculous. Like we can influence a game playing fantasy baseball. Hey, man, you need to go get more stolen bases for our fantasy league.
Hey, man, I need you to go for 4 tonight.
Yeah. Hey, I got $30 on this game tonight, man. You better show up and play. Yeah, they don't want us influencing the game.
All right.
Who am I? Second half of baseball, 80.9% success rate stealing. This is a team to watch out for this coming year.
Is this your opinion or everyone saying to watch out for?
I don't know what everybody's saying. I can just give you my
so it's not Texas.
My opinion.
So it's not Texas.
Not the Rangers. Screw the Rangers.
Arizona.
That would be your Arizona Diamondbacks. I call them the Snakes.
I'm very excited about them.
The D-backs stole the most bases after the All-Star break last season at 68. Okay. That's a success rate of 80.9%. So they got this Corbin Carroll kid who's like the fastest kid. I mean, they got like a sprint team and Thomas and McCarthy. All three of these guys, Carroll, Thomas, and McCarthy, remember those names. 3 of the 30 fastest players in baseball. Torey Lavello, friend of the program, former A, their manager says, quote, "We're a very fast team. We're a very athletic team. I can assure you that we're going to try and maximize our potential to get it to the next base." They're taking, who has said now, you got to own 90 feet?
You?
I mean, that's something I could have gone for hours with Spilborghs. I could have gone on the new rules. 90 feet. Taking 90 feet, owning 90 feet. That 90 feet between first to second, that 90 feet from second to third. What was a Ricky Henderson run? Walk, steal, score on a sac fly. Guess what? Here's another one going out on a limb. If you're on third base, you've got a better chance to score than any other base.
Yeah, okay.
So the more times you get on third base, you got a better chance to have better numbers with runs scored. Because I know with all the analytics that you're into, I know you don't care about runs scored. But last time I checked, you still need to score more runs than the other team to win the game.
That's true.
That's never changing.
Unless it's spring training and there's ties.
Whether you've got a pitch timer, whether you got bigger bags, no shifting, whether you want weighted runs created plus, WOBA me to death, XFIT me to death, the number one stat is I still got to score more than the other team.
Correct. By the way, the Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll's is going to be, he's probably their top, actually he is their top prospect. They have a couple guys coming up, but a lot of their guys are outfielders. So
that's why they traded the guy to
Varsho, Varsho to get another outfielder. But they also have a lot of good. They have a couple of good positional players coming up, like Jordan Lawler. So they have some guys to watch if you're a fan of the Snakes going forward.
If you are subscribing to The Athletic, our national baseball columnist Eno Saris has done an article about 10 deep sleeper pitches who could deliver for fantasy and MLB teams alike. The second guy on this list is a left-hander out of St. Mary's, now with your Oakland Athletics, Ken Waldachuk. You call him Waldy. Ken Waldachuk, it's a whole breakdown of how good Waldachuk in the Stuff Plus. I'm not going to try to explain it. Hell, I don't know, and I don't care. You either Stuff Plus or you're not, right?
Yes, fact.
And that kind of how it works.
Yeah.
You have rating. Eno's got his Stuff Plus ratings. You're either in it or you're not. It's pretty, I don't need to know why. I just know you're in it or you're not. Because of Waldachuk's fastball changeup combination, which Waldachuk told us in spring training, you can still see that on YouTube, that final outing where he outdueled Shohei Ohtani, those 7 innings on the last day of the year, he didn't have his good stuff, but he had the old changeup. So his fastball is Stuff Plus. It's in that range, over 100, whatever the chart is. And his changeup is Stuff Plus. The question for Waldachuk, Eno's article, he's got a slurvy breaking ball, so it's not 12-6, and it's not the spinning slider. It's more of a slurve. It's coming this way. He believes if he can get a slider/cutter and he throws it harder and it's closer to his fastball with less break, that can become a Stuff Plus pitch and play off his fastball better, hence making the combination of fastball, changeup, and whatever this breaking ball would be, make him a better pitcher. But I saw this last night. This was actually before I went to bed. I thought of you, and I chuckled. Do you know what PP ERA is?
Jeez.
PP, lowercase PP ERA, not uppercase, lowercase PP ERA.
First thing that pops in my head, I know it's not right, is position player ERA, but if we're talking about pitchers, it's not right.
Mike Trout's ERA. No.
I have no idea.
No.
Never even heard of it.
PP ERA.
No idea. PowerPoint ERA.
Pitching plus projected ERA. They're literally just making stuff up.
It sounds like it, yes.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we sat here and did 2 hours on some of these analytics that are just, hey,
or a 9+.
Here's what we're going to do. Today, we're going to break down every single A's pitcher and every pitcher in the division to see how the A's stack up against the Astros, Mariners, Rangers. I got everybody? Astros, Mariners, right? Got
Astros,
everybody?
Angels, Mariners.
Oh, Angels. I forgot the Angels. Don't want to leave our old friend, the Rally Monkey, out. I found the Rally Monkey again. He's back. We're going to break down the A's versus everybody in the division, every single pitcher's PPERA. We're going to break down the pitching plus projected ERA for everybody. We're going to do that for 2 hours. Would that be exciting radio? Or I should say streaming.
I'm going to go with no. I don't know how to find that. Where do you even find that?
I found it on The Athletic. It's on the internet. It must be true.
Yeah, Eno mentioned it.
Or it should be in the internet.
I'll have to ask Eno where he finds this. It's probably on Fangraphs.
I think they made it up. That's why it's not. I don't think it is Fangraphs. He made it up. That's what I'm going to go with. It's lowercase.
Oh, lowercase. Okay. I'm just doing a quick Google search.
Yeah, the PPERA.
We will get to Steve Finelli. Yeah, it's not even coming up on here.
Yeah. PPERA. So everybody out there, get ready. We're going to do 2 hours on pitching plus projected ERA. Does anybody think that sells?
Probably. Well,
I mean that just doesn't sell. Like that's what baseball needs to get rid of. This doesn't sell. I guarantee you, you put an article out there about PPERA, the clicks will be minimal. Who's reading that? I mean, that's not how you sell your sport, right? I mean, my God, if anything, look how the NFL sells their sport, and try and be more like that because they're brilliant at doing it. Did I say sales? Does I say selling something?
Yeah, sorry. I'm going through everything on Fangraphs. I'll keep looking while we get to this.
Here's the ADD. You got all of a sudden, I lose track. All right. Did I say sales?
Yes.
I'm saying you can't sell it. You know who could sell it?
Steve Finelli.
Steve Finelli, VP of Sales and Business Operations, longtime friend. You want to talk about a guy that's been around the A's, has spent basically his entire career, his life, his marriage, his kids have all been while he's been with the A's. You know, that's what we talk about. There's a lot of people with the Athletics that have given a good part of their lives and their careers to this great organization. And Steve Finelli is one of those guys. I got a chance to catch up with my friend at spring training. Here we go. Well, it's a special treat, and one of the reasons why is when you talk about the people that have been around the Oakland Athletics for a long time, who've put their blood, sweat, and tears and a lot of their life into our organization. Steve Finelli, who is now the VP of Sales and Business Operations. I remember you when you were, head of tickets at the time?
Ticket operations started in 1990, end of 1997. So I've been here for, last year was my 25th year in baseball. I was here at the A's for 22 of the 25, so the good years.
The one thing that we like to do here on A's Cast is to talk about the people who work inside the organizations, because so many times we highlight the players. Obviously, we're a baseball team. We're in the entertainment business. We got to talk about the players, but we don't talk enough about the people that work inside our organization, especially the people that have been in this organization for a long time, who've been your colleagues for a long time, because this organization has meant so much to you, your wife, your family, your kids. I mean, you've been in this thing a long time.
I've been working here longer than I've been married, and I now have kids in college. So our whole lives have revolved around being at the ballpark. It's, when you think about it, we've been at the Coliseum consistently through that time. Yeah. I left for a short period of time and went across the bay to work for the Giants, but I always had that pull to come back. And to me, it's just a special place. It's a special group of people. The athletics organization, sometimes it's hard to see how it really ticks on the inside. But we're a group of people that always fight, battle, and we're great friends. It's family. It's my family. It's essentially my family. And it's hard to replace that or replicate that. I've been so fortunate to be able to come to work at a ballpark and work with the people that we've worked with and the group that we have. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And it's a labor of love too. I started as a kid, and working in the ticket office as a 23-year-old, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work, and it's a lot of hours. But you feel very fortunate every moment you're there to be at a major league ballpark and contributing to the greater good of something that means a lot to a lot of people, and it's really special to be part of.
I know it's always crazy when you say your kids are in college. I remember when they were little kids
running around down here in Arizona.
I remember when your kids were young. They're now in college.
Riding the go-karts around Phoenix Muni, and oh man, it's good times, great memories. And they love being down here this time of year, down in Arizona to kick things off, get things started. It's super special, and it's just like you wait for that moment that baseball starts. The first pitch tomorrow is going to be 26 year for me. I'm going to step aside and just really take it in and appreciate where we're at and what we have to look forward to as an organization too. It's good stuff.
Now, before we get into stuff going on with the A's for 2023, you're in charge of also down here in Arizona, and you're in charge of Hohokam and everything going on. Just for you as right now, to let everybody know, when they listen to this, spring training games are already going on, but we're taping this before the actual first game tomorrow. So you're going to hear working on the stadium and everything. This part of it, how much do you love? Getting the stadium ready, getting ready for spring training, and then once the game starts, because it's a lot of fun being down here and our fans love it, and you're in charge of it.
Game is 24 hours away, and these guys are out here screwing in cup holders and seats, getting this place ready. We have a great relationship with the city of Mesa, and our team on site down here. Joe Punn oversees the building as the general manager down here, makes sure that the fan experience and the building are dialed in from first pitch. And it's a beautiful building. I mean, we're going on now 9 years here, and after being at Phoenix Muni, and we made this our home. And fans, as they come down here, they're going to get a good experience. They're going to get fun baseball, but also they're going to have great food selection. They're going to have good interaction with the berm and the party spaces we have, and it's a great experience down here. You have a chance to get close to the players. It's something that people look forward to, and I'll look forward to first pitch tomorrow for sure.
And I've noticed out in right field on the berm, you've got it's called the bullpen. I haven't been out there yet, but it's like a party deck that you've added this year.
Yeah, party deck is cool. So coming from Phoenix Muni, one of the things we didn't have was a berm and the traditional spring training experience. You want to roll a towel out onto the grass, grab a couple of drinks, enjoy the day, have the kids play catch. It's part of being at spring training. So moving into this building gave us the berm. And now, we looked at in 2021 when we had to do pod seating and separate people into little groups that sitting out on the berm that, there could be something there. Let's create a space then to where we step up just the grass experience and the berm experience and create more of a premium experience out there. And that bullpen, we're looking forward to hosting people in, and it just elevates the berm grass experience. You have your lounge chairs, your umbrellas, get a little food and beverage in there. It's going to be a fun spot for fans to come out and just enjoy the berm in kind of a enhanced way.
So people, you think about spring training where you come out, you watch games, and all of a sudden the season starts, but this building doesn't close down. It's year round. So how much are you thinking about this and all the different other events that go on here at Hohokam throughout the year?
There's fall ball here. The city takes the building back over in the off season. They maintain it. They run some smaller events through here. But if you look around this place, it's a A's branded building. This is first and foremost the home of the Oakland A's for spring training. And, we maintain it year round to ensure that when fans do show up in end of February, early March, they feel like they're home and there's consistency and the experience is good. And so, yeah, the city of Mesa does a great job with this building. We put some renovation dollars into it 9 years ago to get us over here. And it was the old Cubs facility prior to them moving to Sloan. But you'd never know it when you walk into this building now. And it's nice to have a building branded A's. It's, from the exterior colors and the logos all over the place and the great photos that we have of some of our historic players. It's awesome.
For me, as someone who takes a lot of negative phone calls after games, and there's a lot of stuff said about us, and there's stuff that's said about the Coliseum. I wish all fans could come down here and to see how beautiful our digs are down here. Whether you talk about Fitch, and I think that facility, our practice facility, is second to none. The workout center, all the fields, it's absolutely beautiful.
Absolutely.
I wish everybody could see that. It's state of the art. And then see this stadium. Because when you walked into Phoenix Muni, you're at Phoenix Municipal Stadium. You walk into this stadium, it's the Oakland A's spring training home. It's beautiful. We're on the field right now. The field's beautiful. The background's beautiful. It truly is our building. Everything's A's everywhere. And I know not everybody can come down to spring training. It just doesn't work that way. But we should be very proud, and you should be very proud of what we have down here because – like I said, we take a lot of heat for stuff that happens back in the Bay Area, and we don't get enough love and praise for what happens down here.
No, we take a lot of pride in this experience down here, and we're always trying to look to elevate it and make sure that we're improving each year to make sure that when fans come down, they have still that traditional experience, but we're finding new things like we did with the bullpen on the berm to just add new elements to the overall stadium. So, yeah, we love it down here. It's a lot of work, and the team that we have, one of the great things we do down here actually is we work with Grand Canyon University, ASU. It's a good starting ground for students in the sports management program to come in and see how a building runs or a ball game is put on. So then they add that to their resume, and we can pull them into the full-time world, hopefully at some point in Oakland, or they go elsewhere when they graduate. So, there's a lot of things that are happening here that are giving chance to not only the students, but the community and our fans that travel from out of state, from California, that come down here. It's great.
Now, I remember actually when in Japan in 2019 with Dave Renetti trying to orchestrate the changes that were happening at the Coliseum from Japan. It was hilarious trying to he's on the other side of the world trying to manage all these different things that we were doing at the Coliseum. And obviously, anybody who goes to an A's game now, they see the upgrades that the A's have put into the Coliseum to make it a better experience. Then COVID hits. Kind of changes everything. No fans in 2020. Then we come out. We have to be separated and everything. What, from a business standpoint with the Coliseum, have we kind of learned and changed since coming out of COVID, and we've gotten back to being, a regular organization, having as many fans as we possibly can have?
Yeah, look, the experience at the Coliseum, when you're there to watch a ball game, just the atmosphere, the diehard fans that are there, it's second to none as far as I'm concerned. But then we enhance the building with new premium areas, the lounge seats, the 4 top tables behind the home dugout. The treehouse, I think, is a great place for people to watch the game. Poor Renetti, he's not able to come down here for spring training. He's up there working 24 hours a day to make sure that building's ready for opening day.
Need power, baby.
He is just pulling through right now. It's his tough time of year, but when we do open the doors on opening day, it's amazing to see how things come together. Like we just hosted, or we didn't host, but the building hosted motocross this past weekend. So poor Woody's got dirt that's been sitting on that field for weeks that he's got to figure out now. Now we got to get this thing ready for Major League Baseball on opening night. So the work that goes into that, I love this experience here. It's on a very small scale compared to what those guys are trying to do at the Coliseum to get that building ready. But when the doors open there and having just the type of areas like the Treehouse or Shibe Park Tavern, or areas where fans can meet up and talk about the off season and get ready for A's baseball, it's a good experience as well.
So with the stuff going on for opening day, what are you excited about? Any ticket promotions? What excites you opening day for A's fans?
Well, right out of the gate, it looks like we're going to have Ohtani on the mound on opening night, which, it's always great for the atmosphere in the ballpark. It takes it up a level. One of the greatest players on the planet will be on the mound against our team. And honestly, we are, and just being down here, the optimism of you're talking to all these guys. I mean,
yes,
it looks like it feels like things are moving in a good direction, and the optimism and I don't know if it's Kotze's leadership or what's driving these guys, but I'm excited to see that team get on the field and start competing again. And I've seen this multiple times through the course of my career with the A's. Been doing this since the late 90s, where you start to see that wave where things start to peak up and you start to acquire talent. And ultimately, that's what fans get excited about. That's what I personally get excited about. And to see those next stories try to emerge from the current roster, I think that's the starting point. And then you get out to the ballpark, and of course, we're going to do some great value nights. We got the Friday packs with 4 tickets and parking starting at $39, and we got a number of other great offers. We got phenomenal promotions this year. Catherine and her team put together. It just feels back like we're back to normal. We got the bobbleheads, we got drone shows, we got fireworks nights. And look, fireworks night on the field or watching a drone show from the field is an experience you can't get anywhere else in Major League Sports. It's just something that it's a traditional experience, but also I think generations now of fans have gone through like sitting on a blanket and watching what I think is the best fireworks show in sports after the game multiple times a year. So we got a lot of that stuff to look forward to. And it's going to be nice to just get back to baseball, the nightly routine of watching the A's coming out to the ballpark 7, 8, 9 days in a row. It's like now that my kids are away at college, I don't have to worry about scooting out of there. Night games, I'm there for the long haul. So the 10-day homestands, I love them.
OaklandAthletics.com/tickets. You can see all the ticket specials. You can see the promotions. I traveling with the A's, I've been at other ballparks when they have their firework nights, and their fans aren't going onto the field. They're sitting in their seats. And I just expect, you start thinking, everybody does this, right? No, the A's are like one of the only teams that allows the fans to come down on the grass and let the fireworks go off right above them. Everybody else says, stay in your seat, don't touch the field. It's one of the coolest things we do. Plus, I always love Sundays and the kids running the bases.
Running bases are great. I don't do it myself anymore, but it's still a fun experience out there. The kids love it, and it's part of who we are. We've done it for forever, and Renetti and the rest of the team. That's it. Sunday's usually the end of a homestand, and it's a long homestand, but make sure that every last kid runs the bases and gets a chance to slide in home. It's fun.
And I know for us, I still love the Coliseum. It's old school. Most places you can't tailgate. It still gives you the opportunity to tailgate. That doesn't happen with most stadiums around Major League Baseball. So, yes, we need a new ballpark, but let's enjoy the old charm while we still have it.
It's a good time. It's still a good time. You come out to the ballpark. And look, Championship Plaza, another thing I forgot to mention, it's like the food trucks, and I think we're going to do concert series out there, and the team's doing what we can to make the experience as fun as it could possibly be, and that's all you can ask for. There's a group of people that worked here that work 12 months out of the year trying to do the best we possibly can to make that game day experience memorable for fans, and that's where we're at. And I think we have enough things out there when you come, if it's a Friday night or a Saturday to see a pregame concert or promotion, that it should be a good time.
Well, I'll tell you what, we should do this a couple times a year and just let everybody know what's going on from the business side with the Oakland Athletics. But I've known you for a long time. You do an outstanding job, and you're a big part of not only what we do now, but you're a huge part of where we are going and where we need to go. So we want to have you on A's Cast.
Love it.
We want to hear from you.
Love it. No, I appreciate being on. This was super fun.
Well, you are the best, and let's do this again soon. And tomorrow, we're going to be gone, but tomorrow, sit back, take a deep breath, and just enjoy some baseball and the work that you guys do down here, because the facility, the atmosphere is second to none.
Love it. Thank you. Appreciate that. It means a ton.
The VP of your Oakland Athletics, Steve Finelli, right here on A's Cast. Now, do you know what Steve Finelli is not? Oh, this will be great if you can guess this. What is he not?
A broadcaster?
No. Well, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
What is he not, though, when you look at the A's? What is he not?
I'm not even going to venture a guess. I'll leave
something you love to talk about.
An analytics guy?
No. Well, probably,
actually,
yeah.
Yes.
If you're in sales,
yeah,
you're data.
Yeah, actually, yes. Okay.
They're real data. Data that makes money. This hocus pocus PPERA crap, this is real data. What is he inside this organization that you love to talk about?
Vice president?
He is not a lower level employee.
That's true, yeah.
When you're a vice president, you're not lower level. You're kind of a big deal. Like my man Johnny. Are we at home today or on the road? Where the hell are we?
Sloan.
Oh, that's right. We're in Sloan. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Johnny. My favorite spring training site. The Cubbies got it going on. They're on the west side?
I thought
north.
We looked this up.
North central side of Chicago. What side are they on?
Oh, north side, but I think they're west of Hohokam in Arizona.
They're not west, east, southern side of Chicago?
No, north side.
They're the north side.
Yeah, north siders.
Isn't there somebody on like the south central east side?
The Sox, as they call them. Well, no, the White Sox. The Sox are the Red Sox.
It really is stupid, man. Who are the north siders? Who are the south siders? It's so ridiculous. Coming up next, we head to Sloan Park. We have our boots on the ground. The great Johnny Doskow will join us right here on A's Cast Live.
It's that time of the year. Single game tickets are now on sale for the 2023 season. Secure your tickets for some of the biggest matchups, fireworks, drone shows, giveaways, and more. From opening weekend against the Angels to the 50th reunion of the 1973 World Series team, to unique giveaways like Pit Viper classes. There is so much happening at the ballpark this season. Don't miss out on other homestands as we take on the Giants, Padres, Yankees, Cubs, and Braves. Visit athletics.com/tickets to get yours now. That's athletics.com/tickets.
Chevron with Techron has unbeatable engine cleaning power, and it gives you unbeatable mileage for all kinds of unbeatable destinations, like time in the sun at the beach, or time in the sun riding roller coasters, or a day in the sun hiking mountains. Well, probably just one mountain would be enough for a day, but hiking a mountain is still an unbeatable choice for how to spend time. Download the Chevron app now to get unbeatable mileage at locations near you.
If you're looking for a new mattress, Nest Bedding has you covered. Sleep on the same mattress Hall of Famer Ricky Henderson sleeps on. Nest Bedding is the #1 brand of online mattresses and the Bay Area's favorite mattress store. Take home the Easy Breather pillow. The New York Times calls it their #1 pick. You can navigate their easy-to-use website, nestbedding.com. That's nestbedding.com. Green and Gold fans, use the coupon code Oakland and you get 10% off your entire order. Nest Bedding, love where you sleep.
Innovation is at the core of Cal State East Bay, like at our Green Biome Institute, where faculty and students preserve genetic information from California's endangered plants, or how we open doors for local entrepreneurs at our Small Business Development Center. From educators to nurses to STEM professionals, Cal State East Bay has real impact throughout the region's neighborhoods, boardrooms, and the entire economy. Be part of the innovation. Connect with Cal State East Bay at csueastbay.edu/impact.
This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop at Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants in Walnut Creek. You're not going to find a better menu, and come try their world-famous chicken pie that has been served in Southern California for 86 years. Spacious indoor and outdoor dining, perfect for your next private party or corporate event. Don't forget free parking. For more information, go to chickenpieshopwc.com. That's chickenpieshopwc.com.
A's Cast Live continues from the town. Here's Chris Townsend.
Let's go. A little spring training baseball today, huh? Where's my man Johnny? Johnny on the spot. As he's
right here, buddy.
All over the Valley of the Sun.
That's right.
I got to tell you, I don't know if you heard, I know you were listening in the background, but my favorite spring training location is Sloan Park. I think they, without a doubt, have done the best job. The way they've kind of replicated part of Wrigley Field there, as much as you can do in Arizona. Their gift shop down the right field line is better than most team shops in stadiums.
Wow. I haven't seen it yet, Tony. I got here and we've had some internet issues here, so trying to work those out. But it's a gorgeous ballpark, this Sloan Park, man. I've walked around a little bit, and man, it is nice though. I'll tell you that. And that little grassy berm area, you're right on top of the action here. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of check things out after this game a little bit. I want to go to that team shop and see what you're talking about. It's nice.
Look out in left field. So they got the berm, and then they got concessions. Then on top of it, it's called the rooftop, like you're at Wrigley Field on one of the roofs. That's people will sit up there for the game. I mean, it's like they've created all these little cool things, and it really is. for A's fans going over there, it's fun to go to these spring training spots because just the way they've designed these stadiums, and there's also the level where you can get table service. They've done it for whether you're a Cub fan or an A fan or whoever. They've done it for the enjoyment of the fans.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, all they need is the ivy out there, Townie. If they get the ivy, make it really realistic. That would be nice, because I know that Boston has a thing in Florida with Fenway, but I'll tell you, this is beautiful, man. I'm looking forward. I can't believe the A's facility is just 2 miles away. It was a pretty easy commute today. It's nice.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. It's like you don't realize how close we are to the Cubs. Obviously, we play in the stadium. We originally, what did I say? It was like 1979 or whatever. We were at Hohokam, but years later, the Cubs took it over. They were there for years, and now we are back. All right, what are we hot on today? Tell me. Christian Pache got a couple hits.
Che got a couple hits. Soderstrom almost hit for the cycle. Didn't even start. He came in the 5th inning, got a single, double, and a homer. It was fun. It was fun to see the young kids. I mean, Butler doing his thing. What new Butler? The sun came out, so Butler dominated. So he had a couple of hits. We saw a monster home run from Kevin Crone. We saw some good pitching, Adrian Martinez. So yeah, we saw a little bit of everything. A 14-14 tie, Townie. You don't see it often, but that's spring training for you sometimes, right?
Did they miss a field goal at the end of the game? How did this happen?
Yeah, they missed extra. No, 14-14. I mean, actually, I'm glad these spring training games end in a tie, because that game probably would have broken all sorts of spring training records for this year for time of game. Because it was a wild one, man. It was, and you knew that the A's were going to tie it up at the end there. You just knew it.
Well, you were doing that game by yourself, and I think what the pitch timer teaches us, that if that was not a game with a pitch timer and you're by yourself, that game easily would have been well over 4 hours. Well, it just goes to show,
no question,
28 runs, 18 pitchers, all that. The pitch timer still kept that to a manageable 3 hours and 16 minutes.
No question. That game is 4:17, 4:38. If not for that pitch timer, that would have been a disaster. So that pitch timer does help out a lot. We've seen it. I think most of these guys, I asked Kotze today about the pitch timer. Are his pitchers adjusting? He's really been pleased with how the adjustment a lot of these guys have made, especially the veteran guys. They made the adjustment after, especially the veteran guys, like a guy like Trevor May, who hasn't had the pitch timer, and he's learning it in his 30s. So, it takes some time. I thought there'd be more pitch timer violations at this point, Townie, but really they've done well in making the adjustment, most of these A's pitchers.
You mean human beings can adapt?
I lost you for a second, buddy.
I said it's amazing. Human beings can adapt. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, they do adapt. And look, it's one of those things where, I was, to be honest with you, I was kind of hoping it would be 17-22 when this thing started, 18-23, kind of work into it. Don't go straight into 15-20. Dallas Braden disagrees with me. I know you disagree with me. Just go straight into it. Go 15-20. But I was kind of thinking it would be better if you started 17-22, worked your way in. But I know you disagree with me. You're like, no, let's go straight into it. Go 15-20. Just tell these guys to make the adjustment. Most of them, and they're going to make the adjustment because they're professionals. They're great athletes. So they're going to find a way to make an adjustment. But, yeah, it's for a veteran guy, I'm sure that's pretty quick. You shake off a couple of signs, you're going to get a violation.
Well, I'll tell you this. I would agree with you in regular life. In regular life, there's nothing wrong with starting and then changing and being flexible, adapting, being normal human beings in a workplace. But we're dealing with Major League Baseball players in the Players Union who don't act like that. And they're nothing but a pain in the you-know-what. So if you want to, give them a little bit and then try and change it, things can turn into a holy war. You have to just set the rules, tell them this is how you do it, because anytime you want to bring Players Union and players into it, you got to realize the mess that it becomes because this isn't the real world.
Right. It's just like Billy Bean's character, Brad Pitt says in that Moneyball, he tells Jonah Hill, they're ball players. They can take it. They're ball players. They'll make the adjustment. Like tell them they're released. They want to hear it straight. And that's kind of exactly like what you're saying. Look, they're ball players. They're athletes. They're the best in the world. They'll find a way to make an adjustment. So personally, Townie, I like the pitch timer when it was in AAA. It was 14-19 in AAA. I like it here. I think it's going to be it's a better brand of baseball. You're going to see more action. That's how this was in the 60s and 70s, Townie. We had 2.5-hour games because guys didn't, Mike Hargrove, do all this stuff with Nomar, and you didn't have that. So it is a better brand of baseball. They will get used to it, and we will see during the regular season some 2-hour, 30, 35-minute games. It's going to be good.
All you have to do is go to that award-winning documentary, Baseball by Ken Burns, and look at how the video is where players were always running everywhere. No one walked. No one loafed in from right field. No one was walking around. When the inning was over, they ran into the dugout, and the other team ran out onto the field. There was always hustle, hustle. Professional athletes were about movement and hustle. All of a sudden, we all unbutton our shirts. We got chains hanging out. We're all Johnny Cool Guy, and we're taking 4.5 hours to play a game. Get that stuff out of here. And already the reports are from everybody. ESPN's done an article today. We're going to talk about that after you. CBS Sports has done an article today. Everybody's already saying the get off my lawn crowd who says there shouldn't be a timer in baseball, they're already being proven wrong, and we're just in the first week of spring.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's people have. I don't think people even be talking about this here in a month or so. That's the beauty of spring training. There's spring training 5 or 6 weeks. By the time I think the goal of baseball, MLB, was by the time you get into this, into the regular season, you get to late March, early April, we won't even talk about this. You'll have occasional pitch clock violation. But Tony, let me ask you this: what do you think of the idea that maybe in the playoffs they'll get it to 2025 or 1823? Do you like that? Do you think they should expand out the pitching a little bit to get a little bit more time when you get to the playoffs in the World Series?
I hate when people ask a question after a question, but can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you just did. Yeah.
What's okay in American television, right? In American television in ratings, we're in the data business. Top 100, top 100 watch television programs. 82 are one sport. What sport is 82 of the top 100 programs watched in the United States of America?
Call me crazy, but I think it's football.
It's football. Now let me ask you another question. When we get into the playoffs, when we get into the wild card and then the divisional round and then championship Sunday and the Super Bowl, do we change how the game's played?
No.
I think football works. I think football has figured out how to be successful. So should we change and allow things to get slower once we get to the postseason? My answer to your question is hell no.
Okay. I like your style. Kid. I like that. I don't know. We'll talk about this another time for sure. It's getting loud here. We'll talk about that another time for sure. Another conversation.
Can you hear us?
Say it one more time.
Can you hear us?
It's hard because the PA speaker is right above here, and this is the best place to do it. And we do so it's challenging. So I'm sure people are seeing my big nose, right? Big nose in the camera right now. But yeah, I'm struggling to hear you a little bit.
Are you solo today?
I am solo today. Yep.
Johnny Solo. I love it.
Unless Vinny's coming in like in the third or fourth inning, I'm not sure. Hopefully, I don't know. Either way, I'm good either way. It's all good.
Right. I'll let you go. Have a great broadcast. We'll be listening.
All right. Thanks, Townie. We'll see you.
Good stuff. Johnny, right? I'm telling you. How many times have we dealt with that? This is what I've been told. Actually, the great Vittorio DiBartolo probably could back me up on this. New A's employee, longtime Raider employee. John Gruden at the Coliseum got them to put the speaker out in right center, pointing right down to the field to make it louder. And when you're on the field and they play the music and Matt Chapman was demanding that it was blaring, you can't hear. Like we're on the field doing a show, Ace Cast Live, next to each other, and we couldn't hear. Right?
Yes, the best is when the great Ray
Oh,
Fosse.
Ray Fosse. You want to talk about a guy that drove Ray Fosse nuts?
It's every time he come on, Tony, it's so loud here.
Oh, and we would be looking at Chapman. Ray was God, I miss you, Ray. God, I miss Ray. Ray was the best. Ray was the best. We had such great, conversations with him every day. Every day. Like I don't have conversations every day with people. But I don't talk to Ken every day. I say hello, sup, and vent. I talk to Ray Fosse every single game. Whether we did it, we did a lot of interviews together. We'd be on but just conversations every day with Ray Fosse. Ray Fosse communicated with people every single day. He made it a point to let you know that you were important, you mattered, how's your family, how's that? I mean, every day. Every day he'd talk to you, every day he'd talk to me. I would interview him every day, but every day he made a personal connection. Something that a lot of people you could learn from. As my mother would say, Ray Fosse was raised right. Ray Fosse was an amazing communicator, and he didn't even know, it wasn't like Ray Fosse took a business class and then decided that, hey, I need to reach out, touch people, let them know that I care every day. That was just who he was naturally. That was his DNA. What Ray did on a daily basis, they teach you. I mentioned Tony Robbins earlier. Tony Robbins would teach you to do that. Inside your office, inside wherever you work, make those personal connections. Let people know that you care. Make people believe that you care. Ray Fosse did that naturally. He had a gift of communication. And that's why all the guys he played with loved him. All the people he was around loved him. Was he opinionated? Of course he was. Did he have the big bravado because he was Ray Fosse? Of course he did. But there was so much love in that man's heart. And he loved you, the A's fans. Remember, he never said A's. He always said athletics. Oakland Athletics, the Athletics. He always said athletics. I'm sure there was a few times he said it, but the majority of the time, he always said athletics. Ray loved this organization. He loved the people. He loved all of us, and we loved him. And that's why did you notice at Ho-Ho-Cam they have the Ray Fosse on the press box?
Below the broadcast booth, yeah.
Pretty cool. You have obviously somebody, Monty Moore, the legendary voice of the Athletics for all those years. I mean, I know Bill King got the Ford C. Frick Award, but I think, for so many people from Kansas City to Oakland and then the World Series years, Monty Moore. But yeah, Bill King, now Ken Korak, the voices. But Ray's different than that because Ray was a player. Ray was an all-star. He was a Rawlings Gold Glove winner.
Yeah. You had to put Rawlings. Never say Gold Glove.
You just say Gold Glove. Ray Fosse would correct you. It's a Rawlings Gold Glove. I mean, he'll be somebody that we will always remember and cherish. He's the type of person we will, as long as we're alive, we will honor him. And hopefully that's a long time. But we will always, because Ray, the love, the respect that he had for everybody in this organization will never be forgotten.
I have on our drive here for all of our spots and stuff. I have a whole folder for just Ray Fosse audio. So I have a bunch of his wild drops and the open we used to use for when he came on the show. A couple of his calls, him and Ken calling Jason Kendall's home run when Kendall had a big home run, who also led the team in stolen bases. And we looked at this like in 2006. Jason Kendall led the team in steals. This is like what Ray was always known for, the wow.
Wow.
So I have a bunch of those.
And Ray did it the right way. The majority of ex-players do not go into the clubhouse, do not talk to the players. They get on the buses with them, they get on the planes with them, and that's it. Not Ray Fosse. Ray Fosse did the job the way the job was supposed to be done. He talked to the manager every day. He talked to the coaches. He talked to the players. He knew everything that was going on, and all the players knew. They knew Ray Fosse. And I think for some players, it was always like, wow, this guy he's omnipresent, because they're not used to that, because they go to other organizations and, we pay ex-player. We're so enamored with ex-players. We're so enamored. They're so special because they played big league baseball that we have to pay them and pay such tribute to guys because they made it to the highest level. It's at times a little much for me, because a lot of them don't work hard. Here's a dirty little secret. They don't work hard. They show up and they get paid based off who they are and what they did, not what they're doing for you now. That's just a reality. Not our guys. Like Ray Fosse's not like that. Dallas Braden is not like that. Dallas Braden, we can vouch for it. Dallas Braden's down there while guys are throwing bullpens.
Yeah, no, it's true. He walks by us every time we're out on the field.
Emo was his coach. Scott Emerson was down. Dallas is still, I don't know, how old is Dallas?
He's not 40 yet. He's still, I think he's in his late 30s.
I mean, I've covered all these guys. So like covering Dallas Braden seems like years ago for me, but he's still young.
Dallas Braden is 39. He'll be 40 in August.
Scott Emerson, our pitching coach, coached Dallas. Like, Dallas has been in our organization all these years. All the coach, that's the great thing about being with the A's, is that the A's is like a family, right? Everybody's been here forever. Everybody, right? We've all been here for a long time. So Dallas played for all these guys. So Dallas is Dallas is just unique as a person.
Yes.
And Dallas, a lot like
we can vouch for that too.
Dallas, like Ray, is a people person. So Dallas isn't sitting up in the press box going, well, I played in the big leagues. Hell no, Dallas is down there while guys are throwing bullpens. We see it all the time. Dallas is on the field talking to players, but like Dallas, it's like crazy. Dallas may be the only guy who's doing television in Major League Baseball who actually goes down and is like a part of the process, right? He's talking to pitchers. You'll see him fidgeting with grips, talking to guys. He's watching the data because we have all this technology as guys are throwing bullpens. Dallas is down there looking at it, and he's with Scott Emerson. He and Scott Emerson are buddies. They're boys. So it's like Dallas is a unique bird in his own right.
So we've done a great job this last 10 minutes of building up and talking about, Ray and Dallas. Should we
hey, if you're going to bring up Ray Fosse, just expect that I'm going to pay my respects to a man that I love.
No, for sure. Are we ready to tear down a guy now, or?
Oh, wow. You and your talk radio background. We always got to get negative. Who you want to tear down? I got the Rally Monkey here. I got Nolan Ryan up here for the Rangers. Where's my snow globe for the Seattle Mariners? Safeco Field. You call it T-Mobile. Who you want to rip?
Should we tear down Buster Olney, our friend?
Oh, bulletin board material. All right. You want to rip us? I'm ready to go.
All right. So Buster Olney on Baseball Tonight, his podcast yesterday, previewed the Oakland A's. I have the full audio. Here's what Buster had to say about the A's.
The Oakland Athletics.
The A's are coming off a season in which they lost 102 games and had a run differential of negative 202, the worst in the American League.
It's not good.
Gone, but not forgotten.
Just about everybody. Tony Kemp is still around, and so is Seth Brown and Ramon Laureano. But Sean Murphy, the team's best player last season, is gone, as is Chad Pinder. Even pitcher Cole Irvin, who isn't even eligible for arbitration yet, he's been dealt. The Athletics have regularly changed their roster in the last 3 decades, but what they're doing is extreme by even their standards. The highest paid player on the team right now is Trevor May, who will make $7 million this year, or about what Justin Verlander will make by the end of April.
Newcomers.
The A's traded for catcher Manny Pena and signed outfielder Ledmus Diaz, infielder Jace Peterson, and they signed Shintaro Fujinami, who has a nasty splitter.
Breakout star.
Shea Langoliers was the centerpiece of Oakland's trade of first baseman Matt Olson to the Braves last spring, and he made his debut in 2022, hitting .218 with a .691 OPS. Langoliers was regarded as a top 100 prospect going into 2022, and he'll likely get a lot of opportunity to advance this year.
The X Factor.
In previous seasons, the Athletics might have been doomed to face a brutal schedule in the American League West, which includes the defending champion Astros, the ascending Mariners, as well as the improved Angels and Rangers. But the new balanced schedule might provide some relief for Oakland and rescue them from a 110-loss season.
The Baseball Tonight podcast win projection.
Sarah Lang says 65, Hembo 60. Pagoda projects 64.6, which I just can't fathom in a tough division. I've got Oakland with 58.
58 wins.
58! I'll bet a steak dinner on that, Buster Olney. I like me some steak, and I like steak dinners. Because you know why I like steak dinners? You want to know why?
There could be a myriad of reasons, but
let me tell you why I like steak dinners. Because I like prime beef, and I like to treat myself. Because when you go into a nice steakhouse, you're getting top-of-the-line service, you're getting top-of-the-line quality food, and that's how I like to live my life. Profiling, Rolex wearing. Where is he? Where's my guy, Ric Flair?
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun.
And I'm having a hard time keeping these alligators down.
Yeah. That's how I live my life. So I bet steak dinners since I work in baseball, because there is that thing that we walk into the clubhouse that says we can't gamble.
Correct.
Can we officially gamble on other sports?
I don't know the answer to that.
I just not like
I'm the worst person to ask that too.
We can't even play fantasy baseball.
Yeah, no. But yeah.
But if I could gamble, but I can gamble steak dinners. Because there's no way you could ever prove that I influenced a game by betting by betting a ribeye and cream spinach. Oh, I will bet Buster Olney a steak dinner, and I'll even fly it to him in Montana now where he lives, that we win more than 58 games.
You should email him or text him and tell him we listen to the podcast.
Hey, you some.
By the way, he didn't even mention when players acquired. He didn't even mention anchor down JJ Bleday coming over. He's a Vandy guy.
And by the way, Aledmus Diaz, he's another one that everybody says his name differently. Like, if you think Aledmus Diaz is going to be tough this year for some people, wait till you get a hold of Ruiz's first name.
He had Boog Shambi on yesterday, and they were talking about how Boog says names for MLB because Boog's the voice of MLB, the show, the video game.
Yeah.
I was like, please tell me you're going to get to S.C. Ruiz. And how he says he did not bring him up, but
I don't know how we're going to say it because we have Mr. Ruiz saying his own name and can't even figure it out.
So the whole thing with Buster is we both disagree. We think they're going to go over 58 wins.
All I have to remember to win this steak dinner bet, the A's only have to win 59.
Yeah. Which
right? If it's 58, so basically
they won 60 last year, and the team's better than last year.
I mean, all I have to do is win 59 games, and I win a steak dinner.
So it made me think of a scene from Major League.
All right.
That is one of the best, and this is how I feel Mark Kotsay should address the team on opening day.
I'd just like to point out that every newspaper in the country has picked us to finish last. The local press seems to think we'd save everyone a lot of time and trouble if we just went out and shot ourselves. Me, I'm for wasting sports writers' time. So I'd like to hang around and see if we can give them all a nice big burger to eat.
Lou.
The great Lou Brown.
Oh, Lou was a motivator of men.
We talk about we're gonna play Fran Reardon tomorrow, the real leader of men. Lou Brown was the original leader of men.
Oh, he was a leader of men.
One of the best scenes from the movie is whenever Charlie calls him the GM. He goes, "Hey Lou, this is Charlie from the Indians, the then Indians. How would you like to manage the Indians this year?" "Oh, I don't know, Charlie. I got a guy on the other line of my white walls. Can I call you back?"
You know what? I forgot how funny Major League is. Maybe I need to go back and watch that. Maybe, before the season starts, get a little Natural, Bull Durham, Field of Dreams.
Moneyball.
Moneyball. We play enough Moneyball here that you don't need to. Major League. Maybe we just need to do a little movie night and start watching some baseball. Great baseball movies. It's baseball, Ray.
But yeah, that's the first thing I thought of when I hear anyone say that the A's are going to win under 60 games.
Nah.
But Buster said
Eh.
that the balanced schedule is going to help us avoid 110 losses. I don't think they're going to lose 110 games in the first place.
Coming up next, Bo, by the way, tomorrow, we do have we're doing Giants tomorrow.
The great Marty Lurie.
That is Bay Area Radio Hall of Famer Marty Lurie will join us tomorrow. The great Marty Lurie.
And Fran Reardon, the leader
of
men.
Oh, my God. I mean, that's the star power of tomorrow. I might not be able to sleep. Coming up next, A's baseball from Sloan Park in Mesa, Arizona. It's the Cubbies. It's the Athletics right here on A's Cast. This is Chris Townsend, and if you're looking for a great place to eat and watch games, go see my friends at the Chicken Pie Shop at Walnut Creek. The Chicken Pie Shop is one of the hottest restaurants